Are you ready to take your business to the next level? Every day there are countless books and articles that are published offering the key on how to make your business a success. It's easy to feel overwhelmed trying to keep up and run your business. That's why Deb Creer created the Business Power Hour. Keep up on the latest trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. Let the Business Power Hour do the heavy work for you.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Deb Creer, and I am passionate about giving professionals the tools that they need to make themselves and their businesses as successful as possible. I just had the most fun chat with my guest as we got to know each other. I really should start recording when we start, right? Because that's where the gems are. And I could at least do an outtakes. That would be so much fun.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. But please join me in welcoming Andrew Newland to our program today. Welcome, Andrew. How are you?
Hey, I am freaking fantastic. Thanks so much for having me on the show today.
Cool. And you're in Colorado.
I am.
Longtime listeners know that I may live in Atlanta, but I am a Colorado girl. So always love talking to my friends back in Colorado.
Definitely. My claim to fame is I'm a fifth generation Colorado Springs native.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes. Very, very rare because we're military in Colorado.
It is. Okay. Yes. My dad was born in Colorado, but my mom wasn't. So I'm a half, I don't know.
Give it to you.
Yeah.
Honorary. I'll give it to you.
That's it. But I was born here. I was born in Colorado. So, it's always great fun to talk to my Colorado peeps.
That's right.
So let me tell folks a little bit about you, and then we'll jump into this because we're going to have a great conversation.
Do it. I'm excited.
So Andrew Newland is the founder and CEO of Functional Medicine Marketing and the author of Digital Marketing and SEO for Functional Medicine Practices, the best online marketing methods for getting more calls, better leads, and bigger profits. Since 2020, he has helped integrative and functional medicine clinics grow through SEO-driven marketing strategies tailored specifically to the unique needs of private practice. Andrew has been featured as a guest on The Functional Nurse and the Junto, did I say that right, podcast with
I'm not sure how to say it myself.
Yeah, I know. It starts with a J. That's very confusing.
That's right, yeah.
With Scott Rattigan, JD, and regularly speaks to clinicians about building sustainable, patient-generating marketing systems. Holy cow, that's a mouthful. I know. Well, I made it through it. Yay.
You did great.
I did. So again, Andrew, welcome.
Thank you very much. And actually, that only shows part of the picture because we have a couple different agency names.
Perfect.
When I started functional medicine marketing about 5 years ago. Before that, we started just a general industry agency.
Okay. Yep. I saw that on LinkedIn.
Called 6IT Marketing, which stands for Six Impossible Things, which is a quote from Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, okay.
White Queen says, I have even imagined 6 impossible things before breakfast. So that's kind of where we started. My wife was an English major. She loved literature. So we started 6IT initially. Since then, we started functional medicine marketing. We also started direct primary care marketing. And we are just starting commercial real estate marketing because my wife is a commercial real estate broker. Here.
Well, and that business is booming in the Springs.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And a lot of people say, okay, well, is it really going that well? Because, COVID, nobody's working, everybody's working from home. My wife focuses on industrial, which is absolutely booming.
Right. And with the current, shall we say, political climate,
yes,
that could be growing.
and that's absolutely true. And one thing that you and I can both agree on is when the political climate is because it's always a roller coaster, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't matter who's in charge.
Exactly. But there's always opportunities.
Yes.
Instead of freaking out, let's look for the opportunity. Because they're always there. They're going to change. So you got to be willing to pivot, find those opportunities, which is partly what we do by, having a few different agency names. It allows us to really kind of niche focus and really dive in and learn a particular industry rather than just saying we're all things to all people.
Mhm.
We really can hone in. So
Mhm.
functional medicine, for example, which is obviously very a big, broad term.
Mhm.
There's the strict functional medicine doctors, but then there's also
Mhm.
medical aesthetics and
Mhm.
red bed and
Mhm.
hyperbaric oxygen and integrative
Mhm.
practices, that have, so it's really
Mhm.
broad as far as really any cash
Mhm.
based,
Mhm.
primarily cash based or member
Right.
medical.
Mhm.
So chiropractors fit in
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
Absolutely. So,
Right.
so we love it. We love
Mhm.
marketing. We have a passion for business,
Mhm.
and helping business professionals
Mhm.
be able to really grow and do it sustainably.
Mhm.
So I love being here today, and I know we're going to have a lot of fun.
I love it. I love it. And marketing is marketing is marketing. But you said one of the most important things, and I harp on this anytime I possibly can on the program, and that's the word niche or niche, if you're fancy about it, right?
If we're
Mhm.
very highfalutin, we call it.
Yes, if we've put our pinkies up, then and it's funny. I was interviewed by somebody in UK the other day. We were laughing about that. Um, but yeah, it's if we say we market to everyone, then we actually market to no one. If
Exactly.
you say we do marketing, then a company goes, okay. But
Right.
if you say we do marketing for X,
Yep.
then they know either that's me or that's not me.
Yeah.
And if it's not them, they might say, but I know somebody who does need that.
Right.
And so that's where it's always so important. And so many times people go, yeah, but we're missing people. Well, conceivably,
Right.
and you're not telling them no. I mean, somebody totally different came along and said, "Viva, pay you," then you can decide if you're going to work with them or not.
Yeah.
But it's all about that. It's just like the medicine practice, right? That you're doing. The clinics and the practitioners are telling people we do this,
Yes.
and so if you don't need that, then you're not going to, the message goes right past you.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you just said, hey, we practice medicine, or
Right.
alternative medicine, whatever it is,
Yeah.
people can't get their heads around that.
Exactly. Well, and you make a very good point, because as we're going to talk about marketing, you also don't want too much of a shotgun approach as
Mm-hmm.
well. Because so take, we'll kind of dive into functional medicine a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the hot ways, kind of the lowest hanging fruit
Mm-hmm.
marketing wise, is to communicate to perimenopause, menopause women
Mm-hmm.
that
Right.
are
And
struggling
there's
with
a lot of us out there.
their. But if you just say, hey, we do functional medicine,
Mm-hmm.
whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but if you say, hey, we help women from
Mm-hmm.
35 to 65 that are,
Mm-hmm.
they've got weight gain,
Mm-hmm.
bloating, and brain fog, and we've got natural
Mm-hmm.
methods, like
Mm-hmm.
you've immediately set yourself apart
Right.
in the noise.
Mm-hmm.
So, we're, big picture when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to marketing, you got to stand out in the
Mm-hmm.
noise. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's what we're going to talk about today is what are some,
Mm-hmm.
2025 methods
Mm-hmm.
to stand out
Right.
in the
Yeah,
noise.
because it has never been noisier. I mean,
Yeah.
that is the thing.
Oh,
We are, back when I went to school, we won't say when that was. It was the
years ago, 10 years
I
ago.
know, I know, 10 years. Okay, we'll go with that. I can even do 20. Um, but we were told that someone had to see, hear, view, whatever, something 7 times
Right.
before they would go, oh, that's me. Now you see 7 different messages in 30 seconds. If
Exactly.
you're scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, TV, I mean any of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't even know what the stat is as to how many times you have to see it. Now obviously if you're thinking, ooh, I need that, then and of course that's where let's be honest, I will do that on Facebook every once in a while just because then the ads pop up and I don't have to research it. But yeah, we are so inundated that we really do have to figure out how to stand out.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. And I actually, you pointed out my happy goldfish
Uh-huh.
here.
Mm-hmm.
In the background, I've got 2 goldfish. I named them Zach and Efron just for
Mm-hmm.
fun. And I actually have this as a reminder. At least I got it as a reminder a few
Mm-hmm.
years ago to remind me that everybody's attention span is about the same as a
Right.
goldfish,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is somehow they figured out it's 9 seconds.
I know. Well, and
Right?
Facebook will actually tell you it's 4.
Well, and what I was going to say is this doesn't even work anymore. These are like academic scholars compared to people. When people go to a website, you've got nanoseconds to catch attention.
Right.
I mean, you have to communicate so fast, whether it's your social media, whether it's an email, whether it's your website, which is going to be interesting because we're going to talk about SEO. Google is you got to feed the beast with a ton of content.
Right.
But we've got this user journey over here. This is the paradox that we work with every day, where we've got to feed Google a ton of content. That's how we build trust and authority. But we know people aren't going to read it.
Right.
Like, they're going to look at a couple headlines and go, "Do you help me with my thing?" Right? And then they're screening. It's this combination. And we'll get into that as well, where marketing, like, we have to understand who our audience is to marketing, and a big main audience is search engines.
Right.
And we've got to play.
Yeah, it's not people, it's who guides it.
Exactly. It's the gatekeeper. Let's be honest. It's the gatekeeper. Whether it's Meta, whether it's X, whether it's YouTube, it's Google, even
and that's a moving target.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Well, and great example of that is this podcast. We do record it with video. I've got a YouTube channel. Almost nobody watches the program. We have so much fun, but we're these talking heads,
right,
for an hour. And and as fascinating as we might think we are, that's not where people are consuming that type of content.
We're not that fascinating.
Right. But Google owns YouTube.
Exactly.
And so we play that game. Plus, it's just fun to see my guests.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad I trimmed up the nose hairs.
Yes.
And cleaned up a little bit. And I referenced my goldfish. So some people,
so those of you who are listening now, you need to go look at the goldfish. But and it is one of those things that I let my guests decide, and sometimes they will say no. I mean, I had somebody earlier in the month that said, "Oh no, I haven't had my hair done."
Oh,
okay.
Great. I should have gotten my beard done.
I know. And so we still recorded it this way, but I just didn't post on YouTube. Right. And obviously during COVID, there were people who went, "No, this is not the image I want people to see." Right. All sorts of things like that. And I did have a guest one time who said, "I don't want audio either." And I went, well, I do want to have a conversation with you. I need to record it and broadcast it. And he kind of paused and then he realized what I was saying. But I was like, okay, dude.
I guess we'll just post it as a blog or
and
write it down on a piece of paper and hand it to some people.
And so but it is squirrel, right? It is about where is your audience and where are they going to consume content. One of my primary clients that we have for my business are senior living communities. And I tell people the target for our posts are not the residents. The target for our posts is this face right here pointing at me. I am the demographic. I have a parent or a grandparent who, might be needing assisted living or, more advanced care. I have the right income level, all of those various things. And I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Instagram, but I am on Facebook. And so that's where we post, do we do some crossover posts to Instagram? Sure, on occasion, but they get nothing. And so, it's all about where are your people?
Where are your people? And that's a great point. And I love that you bring that up because I do a decent amount of education about like your website. Homepage of your website, especially, is a marketing tool.
Yes,
more than a place for your clients to go. Right. So think of it as it's that sales landing page where you have the chance to say, here's what we do, here's how it helps you, and here's how you get it. Because if a client that's already a client that already loves you, if they're going to go to your website for some reason, they will happily dig through and find.
Because they know what they're looking for, and they'll click the product page or whatever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So remembering that your website, that homepage on the website, especially above the fold, right up there at the top, really got to think, okay, this is for a potential client. This
Right.
is potential patient, depending on the business.
Right. And then there are some other basics. Call to action. Hello. And it needs to be, again, above the fold. Now I'm going to have to look at mine. But yeah, like on yours. So I'm looking at, and so your website is functionalmedicinemarketing.com.
Almost. It's just functional med marketing.
Okay. So easy to remember.
Right.
And at the very top, the first thing you see is get our price list.
Right.
Then several other times, get our price list. One,
Yep.
2, 3, 4 more times at least.
Yep.
And so it's a gentle reminder. It's not flashing at you. It's not, now it could also say, contact us, want more info, whatever it is.
Get started.
Yes.
Ask a question. Absolutely. And
Right.
that kind of, like I said, the 3 questions that everybody's subconsciously asking is, what do you do? How does it help me? And how do I get it? That's
Right.
that's that call to action piece. And I always say, you'd never want somebody to use any calories to figure out how to get started.
Right.
Like once you earn a little bit of trust and they want to have a conversation with you, it should be no brainer. It should be front and center. And the call to action should always, it should always look the same. It should look pretty much different. Make it your highlight color, make it stand out in some way for sure. Yeah.
Right. And again, keep it simple, stupid. That really is, we laugh about that. But if somebody has to think about it, what are they asking me to do? I can't find whatever it is I'm looking for.
Well,
then we go back to goldfish, we go back to squirrel, and we go back to Google and we look for the next thing.
How many people do the thing that you're looking for? If it takes them any kind of energy to figure it out, they'll go find something else. It's easier to back out of a website than it is to search through a website.
Right.
Because in our minds, we think, somebody will have this easier. And then there's the subconscious game for sure.
Right. And how many times have we done that? Probably every day, right? We go to somebody's website. We can't almost immediately find whatever it is we're looking for, or at least understand what they're doing, and I'm done. And I might have really, 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 really wanted to work with them.
Yes.
But if it's not obvious and almost smacking me in the face, then I'm on to the next thing. Now, that is kind of more a comment about me and and the fact that, but most people are like that, right? We're an instantaneous society. When Amazon during COVID stopped delivering in 24 hours, we were like, oh my God, I can't get something. Yeah. And I ordered something on Amazon earlier today. Now, granted, I am in Atlanta, but I ordered something earlier today that will be here by 2. Exactly. I mean, it was like a 5-hour window.
Right. What's crazy to me is, in however many years, we'll laugh about how long that took.
Right.
Whether it's, drones are going to deliver it instantaneously, or there's some kind of a, transporter device that it just
right.
Or something. It's so interesting to see how fast, like I have 4 teenagers, a little bit older.
Oh my.
Which I love teenagers. Teenagers are fantastic. We had them really close.
They're at the age where they're really sucking up stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they think I'm an idiot, which is totally fine.
Yes.
Because
then pretty soon they'll go, oh my God, you really did know what you were talking about.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that moment. We had them very young. We had 4 kids, and our oldest was 4. So they were right. So we got diapers flying everywhere. We got crying, and
but you got it all out of the way.
We got it out of the way. Absolutely. So I'm 45, and my youngest is 15. So it's we're gonna enjoy empty nest, Bill. Where we'll walk without a walker, and pretty excited about that. But even to hear some of because I got 3 boys and then a girl, the older boys will kind of talk about how how things have changed so much, because things are changing so rapidly, and obviously kind of bringing that back to marketing. Ooh, things are changing really rapidly. So just a reminder, right? It is important to find, podcasts like this one you're keeping people up to date with, okay, here's what's going on in the world. Here's how you pivot. As soon as we get stuck in the mud, we're going backwards. And so being
Right.
able to pivot,
Mm-hmm.
again, back to
Mm-hmm.
that's where the opportunities are.
Mm-hmm.
The opportunities are always there. You just have to pivot.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and the funny thing is, I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine who I've known, for 35 years. She and I both do public relations.
Yeah.
And I'm hiring her to do something for me. But so we were just having a great time chatting. She's in Denver.
Right.
And she has always had interns. I mean, that is just the way she's, she always does that. And her interns are very vetted. I mean, they are incredibly intelligent young people. And she told them, you will write handwritten thank you notes. And they went, but I already texted. And she said, you will write handwritten thank you notes. And I have the handwritten notes that people have sent me on a board because they're few and far between, but they're so cool.
Exactly. Well, yeah. What a marketing technique. Because what used to be every day,
right,
and kind of forgettable is
now
now
goes woo, 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 right?
Oh, it's like Christmas. You get a personal letter. Like I'm trying to think last time I got a personal handwritten anything from anyone.
Right.
Other than a Christmas card, which is not super.
Yeah. And now if they wrote something in it, I'm okay. And I'll read the letters, but
Sure.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Some of those old school methods can still be kind of revamped and
right. And then on the flip side of that, I was at a networking thing and the head of marketing for Six Flags, Georgia was there.
Sure.
And our Six Flags here is huge. I mean, it's nice. One of the bigger Six Flags. Right. And so he was talking about, he's ramping up for the summer. They've already opened for weekends because it's Georgia, right? And so and we were talking about the different age demographics all the way to what are they? Are they alphas? What the heck are the youngest?
Generation Alpha.
Yeah. And so he said they have alphas through baby boomers who work in the marketing area because they have alphas through baby boomers who visit the park. And so he knows that the importance of diversity and things like that. Yep. But he said he had given the task of calling somebody to his alphas. And he said this 16-year-old came up to him and said, I've never made a phone call. I don't know how to do that. And he's like, what's that thing in your hand?
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, what, grandma never called him? Right. I mean, he had no idea what to do with a phone. And we're like, oh my God, I used to, I actually still have a landline, but I remember when we had the corded phones and you couldn't get more than 5 feet from it. And yeah. But
I remember going to my grandparents and it was so cool because they had a cordless phone.
Yes.
Right.
You pull up the antenna.
Big, and it was like a brick and
yes.
And you could kind of walk around the house a little. Oh,
oh yeah. Or we I'd be as a teenage girl I'd be and then I'd end up wrapped up in the cord. I'm like, oh. But I can't imagine somebody not knowing. But then on the flip side, I'm sure that he has, especially some of the older baby boomers who really don't know how to use a smartphone. They might have one. My mother passed away last year. She was 92. She loved her smartphone. Oh my God, she thought it was the greatest thing in the world. But she would text and she voice texted, and that was hilarious because she did not do punctuation. So you get this one really, and you had to mentally put in the punctuation, right? But yeah, there are many people who don't know how to text. They don't know how to look things up on a smartphone. Right. Things like that. And so that again comes back to who are you trying to reach and what are they using?
Exactly. Yep. And that's marketing 101.
Right.
Where's my audience? Who's my audience? Because you don't want everybody, let's be honest. And then where are they? And then what do they trust? What do they trust? And what I take a lot of time to educate our clients and potential clients is people see social media a lot. It's good education,
Mhm.
but when they are going to find an actual, say, a doctor, or they're
Mhm.
looking for a used car place or
Mhm.
local bank or something,
Mhm.
what is the most trusted platform that they're
Mhm.
going to go to find one near me?
Right.
Is
Right.
Google,
Mhm.
hands down,
Yeah.
down,
Mhm.
which is a perfect illustration of marketing is
Mhm.
a puzzle.
Mhm.
One of the pieces is social media.
Yes.
One
Mhm.
of the pieces is SEO to get you
Mhm.
on Google. One of the pieces is email. One of the
Mhm.
pieces is your website. So all of those go
Mhm.
together
Mhm.
rather than saying, okay, I only want two pieces.
Mhm.
What are the two pieces that I need? Oh, no,
Mhm.
no,
Mm-mm.
no,
No.
no.
And
Like,
we see people doing that all the time. Well, I'm only going to be whatever.
yes,
Okay.
exactly.
Mhm.
Well, and I'm sure you know this statistic, but okay, social media, obviously, social media is powerful. We
Mhm.
need it. We need it for branding. It's a great way to communicate in the
Mhm.
community. But organic social media posting, and we're just
Mhm.
talking Facebook and Instagram for now,
Mhm.
basically, and organic versus the paid side.
Mhm.
Right? Paid is you're doing ad
Mhm.
campaigns, you're
Mhm.
doing boosts, those kinds of things. But then you've got the organic side, which
Mhm.
is I can just post for
Mhm.
free. It's not costing
Mhm.
anything. There's no ad spend behind it.
Mhm.
Statistically, you're going to reach 2.4% of your followers with a
Right.
Facebook.
So do the math, folks.
Do
That
the
could
math.
be under 10.
Those are already people that
Mhm.
follow you. Like you're
Right.
like if you think, okay, I have
Mhm.
1,000 followers, I'm gonna reach all my
Mhm.
followers. No, no, no. Two,
No.
4%,
Mhm.
which a couple
Mhm.
of years ago it was double that,
Mhm.
5%.
Right.
Instagram used to be 9% of
Mhm.
your followers, and now it's 4%
Mhm.
of your followers. So
Right.
you're out there and you're like, you know what? We are posting every day,
Mhm.
5 times a day, and we're
Mhm.
not getting any new
Mhm.
clients. That is not your fault.
Right.
Yes, you
But
could.
don't stop because the algorithms do like you posting a lot.
Exactly. Well, and it's a piece to the puzzle. It's a
Mhm.
piece.
Yes.
Because thinking about that user journey, right? So maybe somebody
Mhm.
sees an influencer,
Mhm.
again, back to functional
Mhm.
medicine, talking about bioidentical hormone therapy, and
Mhm.
they follow this person, and
Mhm.
oh, this is amazing. Okay, this is awesome. Okay,
Mhm.
oftentimes, based on that, they will then go to Google and they will
Mhm.
search bioidentical hormone therapy near me, right?
Right.
And
Mhm.
then they're not going to page 10 for heaven forbid.
No, no.
They're not even making it to the bottom of one, right? They're
Mhm.
looking at the Google listings.
Mhm.
There's 3 of them. That's called the Maps pack.
Mhm.
And then, or they're looking at one of the few top
Mhm.
website listings,
Right.
maybe one of the ads as well.
Mhm.
It's kind of up at the top.
Mhm.
They go to the website, they do some searching. We
Mhm.
talked about this. Nobody reads your whole website.
Mhm.
Still important to have a lot of content on there, which we can talk about SEO because Google needs a lot of content. So
Mhm.
they're scrolling, they look around, and then what do? The natural kind of the user journey is I'm going to go check out their social media.
Mhm.
If you haven't posted in 6 months,
Right.
you
Then you don't exist.
exactly you immediately cause
Mhm.
this trigger in their minds. I
Mhm.
don't know if I can trust you.
Mhm.
Are you
Right.
even in business
Yes.
anymore?
What is wrong with you?
What's
Mhm.
wrong with you?
Mhm.
And so you have to be posting. Yes,
Mhm.
yes, algorithms love
Mhm.
you, and especially
Mhm.
post video. Engage with your
Mhm.
followers, reels, go
Mhm.
live. All of those things are really important and
Mhm.
can increase the reach a little
Mhm.
bit. But that one piece, and I like to say that organic social media is a support to your SEO.
Mhm.
Now, it's not direct. I know people are going to yell at me, right?
Mhm.
Like, if I just post on Facebook, that's not going to help me rank better on Google.
Mhm.
But it's going to be a more well-rounded.
Right. Again, Google goes, you're alive. That's the thing. It might not, it's not going to show your posts, but it's
Exactly.
going to say you exist, or it's going to know you exist.
It helps. It helps with just you've got presence out there that's
Mhm. Mhm.
interconnected, which is a great thing to do with your Facebook posts.
Mhm.
Is link different parts of your website,
Mhm.
so you're connecting those
Right.
things.
Mhm.
And a little side note about YouTube videos.
Mhm.
I remember Google owns YouTube,
Mhm.
yes, but Facebook doesn't. And
No,
Facebook's not real fond of YouTube.
Facebook doesn't like it when you send to YouTube.
Don't use a YouTube link. Put
Mhm.
it up directly on YouTube.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Connect it to your website. Awesome.
Right.
But take that same video, raw
Mhm.
footage, put it up
Mhm.
on Facebook directly.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. You
Hey,
know,
play the
we
game.
we had one for one of my clients that went viral. It's
Ooh.
assisted living, senior living, right? And it was the funniest thing. It's 17 seconds long. Now I didn't post it as a reel, but it's just 17 seconds long. It's two of our gentlemen, one of whom is 96,
Oh, sweet.
dancing.
Yes.
Boopity 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 boop. And he's got his walker. I mean, it's a 17 seconds.
Oh, perfect.
Now we posted it on February 8th.
Okay.
His kids saw it. They went, yay. I mean, it had like 10, 20 views.
Right.
And then something happened in mid-March.
Ooh.
No idea what,
Right.
but the Facebook whoever's,
Yes.
it started getting shared.
Oh boy.
It has now been shared over 3,000 times.
Oh wow.
I stopped even reading the comments. I mean, I glanced through it just to make sure there's not a negative, right? But I could not respond. I mean, and even just clicking like, I just couldn't do. But it's going to hit 200,000 of these two wonderful little gentlemen dancing to Sugar, Honey, Honey, right? So the old Archie song, right? And again, we have no idea why.
Right.
And it took a month. Now, that said, what I have had to explain to my clients is that's really, really cool. But the vast majority of those people are not our market. They're not even in Georgia.
Exactly. Well, yeah. And it's wonderful and it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, there really isn't a science to make it significant
Right.
your marketing strategy. And you're going to get a bunch of people that aren't a good, back to that aren't a great audience.
But they've liked the page and now they keep commenting on other posts. Right. Which then Facebook goes, oh, hey, there might be some to these people.
Yes. So it's good. It's good indirect. But when you come back and you're like, okay, what should our marketing strategy be? You want what is repeatable and predictable.
Right.
What is repeatable and predictable. And that's what, and so what makes, and a little self-promotion. So here at our companies, all of them, we do things a little bit differently in that we put SEO at the center of our marketing strategy. So we have a comprehensive SEO strategy that includes technical SEO on the website, content, and we write the content. Obviously, we want them to approve it. Write very specifically for Google. We have to do a lot of education because it's not going to sound like, it's not going to sound like a doctor talking, medical journal. It's very specifically written for Google. And then we also work on your local Google listing. So there's parts to SEO, technical content. Local. We can work with any platform. We never make anybody build a new website. And the other thing is we don't do contracts. We just do month to month.
Right.
We never want somebody to feel handcuffed to us. Right. So up at the top is SEO, and then we support it. I call the trifecta, where we've got SEO and then Google ads, Facebook and Instagram ads. So that's that three-pronged approach that is really in 2025. Those are the three, I would say, platforms. SEO is not really a platform, but those are the three platforms that you want to put the majority of your marketing strategy into. And then you've got to support it with organic social media, email campaigns, you want donations, and you want graphic design, video editing, all of those things. And we are a full service agent. But if somebody says, okay, I get that I need all the pieces to the puzzle, but I only have money right now for one thing, I recommend SEO. Have somebody or you as the business owner take care of that social media side because it's right there. But then SEO wise, having a good comprehensive strategy. And I have to emphasize it's comprehensive because there's so many agencies out there that say they do SEO and you don't know what they're doing. And they're not, they're not really showing you any results or improvements.
Or they show you results and they don't explain it. And you're like, oh, okay. So we had 200,000 people watch this video. Cool.
Okay. What does that mean? Yeah, exactly. So it's very important. So we kind of we've flipped it on its head a little bit. And SEO, I understand it's the least sexy marketing out there, right? It's so much technical. It's so much on the back end. But back to the most trusted platform out there when people are going to go hire business, local business, or what even national,
Right.
they're going to go to Google.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, you need social media
Mm-hmm.
for the awareness piece and the education
Mm-hmm.
piece, but when somebody's ready to buy, almost hands down, they're going to go to Google.
Right.
And I say Google, but I'm including all the platforms.
Yeah, but let's just be honest, it's Google.
Bing is a really, really, really distant second.
Uh-huh.
It's
Mm-hmm.
way.
Mm-hmm.
The other great thing is Google's really leaning heavily into those AI overviews.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Well, people are worse than goldfish.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to go to the website. They just want
I just wanted to tell me this is what I looked for. Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's important that your
Mm-hmm.
SEO strategy, which ours does,
Mm-hmm.
captures that attention.
Mm-hmm.
Those are called SERP features.
Right.
It's that AI, or
Mm-hmm.
people also ask those kinds of things,
Mm-hmm.
and got to be there as well. And
Mm-hmm.
so comprehensive SEO strategy includes getting in there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, it's going to catch attention of Chat GPT, their AI
Mm-hmm.
search, because what are chat? What are the chats doing? Well, they're
Mm-hmm.
searching the internet.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so if you've got good SEO,
Mm-hmm.
if you're standing out, then chat's going to
Mm-hmm.
capture. So
Right.
good comprehensive SEO strategy.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody says, okay, I just started my business, I really I want to grow for the long haul.
Mm-hmm.
I want exponential growth. I say start with SEO.
Mm-hmm.
Let's build from there.
Right.
And just knowing, okay, it's better to do what I can do a little bit for a long period
Mm-hmm.
of time, rather than I just got my tax return, I'm going all in, I'm going to change the whole
Let's change the world. Mm-hmm.
in a month or two. No.
Mm-hmm.
Too much pressure. There's
Right.
no marketing that can handle that kind of pressure.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you're writing for SEO, that's going to help with everything else because you're using the keyword terms that people are looking for.
Exactly.
And that's the thing for people to remember too. Industry jargon doesn't mean anything if people aren't looking for those words.
I love that. Thank you. Thank you.
And now if you are only looking for people who are going to use those words, that's okay.
Yes.
In fact, if I hesitate to use this, if you've dumbed it down,
right,
then those people are going to go, well, no, I don't want to deal with them, and so don't, because again, back to, we were taught right to the 8th grade level.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good for some things. But if you're trying to reach technical engineers,
right,
you've got to use the words and the terms that they're used to seeing and not what an 8th grader, a normal 8th grader would understand.
Right. Because they're not going to trust you. And it's all about trust.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about trust.
Right.
Where's the audience? Who do they trust?
Mm-hmm.
With SEO, we can see what people are searching. We can see what categories, keywords they're searching in that particular country. Each of our SEO programs, and if you have another company, make sure that they're using a very personalized, customized SEO strategy, because what they're searching for in Phoenix isn't probably the same thing they're
right. Oh yeah, simple thing: pop and soda.
Yeah,
I'm in Georgia. It's called Coke. So, or a drinking fountain. I always marvel at this one. A drinking fountain in Colorado is the thing that squirts water up and you put your face on and you get squirted. But in New England, that's called a bubbler.
Bubbler, yeah, exactly. Yeah, totally different.
Right.
Yeah, I love the point that you said, just because you're the expert and you use the expert words doesn't mean that's what your target audience is using.
Right.
So you've got to be in touch with, now kind of back to functional medicine. We'll have clients that say, well, technically I don't do functional medicine, so I don't want to say that on my blogs. And I want to say, you know what? People don't know.
No.
If they've heard the term functional medicine, it's super broad. It's monstrous. So, there's some different legal things in different states. So you obviously want to keep on top of that.
Yeah. Don't cross any legal boundaries.
But you want to speak the language of what people are searching. And then you can get them to the website and then re-educate and say, okay, you came because you're looking for functional medicine. Here's what we do that's better, that's different than what you might know. So you get them in with what they know, and then you educate them, and build that authority.
Right. Yeah, you could say we're not traditionally functional medicine, whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk industry specific. I want to talk about the functional and integrative medicine that you do, just because I love talking about something that's very specific. So let's just do a basic description, right? This leads right into this. I can do a segue.
Nice.
What is functional and integrative medicine?
For sure. And again, it's a very broad term,
Right.
but functional medicine is basically a doctor or a practitioner that wants to help you get to the root cause of your health issues instead of just giving you another pill. So, hey, you've got IBS. Instead of just giving you an IBS pill, let's figure out why your body is exhibiting IBS.
Right. Yeah, let's look at your diet.
Exactly. And so functional medicine tends to do real deep lab work. That's going to be deeper than your primary care doctor. But then within that, then you've got integrative medicine, which integrative medicine is going to utilize a lot of integrated protocols and a lot of integrated equipment. So where functional medicine is going to focus on in-depth lab testing, diet and supplement support. If they're in need, they're going to manage you. They're going to manage your medicine, work with your specialist. But again, the goal is to get to that root cause. Integrative is, hey, we've got this whole other, this is just huge conglomeration of therapies that we can do. That's where you've got your red light therapy, you've got IV therapies and hyperbaric oxygen, and then you get into some more of the electronic pulse kind of thing. That's real, but they're still, and they're still talking about lifestyle changes and diet, nutrition, and supplements and all of those things, which we talked about cancer support a little bit. That's a hot trending, is holistic.
Yeah.
And a lot of our clients are seeing a lot of movement with that. And it's interesting to me, because like you said, cancer is what? 1 out of 2 people are going to have
somewhere
cancer.
around there. Yeah.
I mean, that's insane. And so getting a care that's going to either work with their traditional or they want to, maybe want to kind of eat off the traditional and try some more, alternative methods, even or just supporting their body. The chemo is
Yeah. And it is, and that's where it gets confusing because there's so much, and so that's where the marketing, your messaging, all of those have to very clearly explain it.
Exactly.
If I'm looking for a treatment for irritable bowel syndrome, what are you going to do to help me with that? I don't care about somebody who's got ingrown toenails. And I don't know why that just popped into my head, but, and that's one of the things, in the last 10 years to say I have been immersed in medical is, an understatement, and both from what we call the Western traditional medicine and then, the Eastern type of philosophies. Sure. And the thing that I have really been seeing is that many of your traditional practitioners have finally grasped the fact that they need to talk about nutrition. Maybe they want to tell somebody, hey, you need yoga, massage, all of these various things. And now I always tell people, okay, work them together. Like if you're going to start taking a bunch of supplements, talk to your doctor, and just make sure that you're not having something that's going to bounce off of each other. And some of them are really, like my mother-in-law, when she was alive, she took a medicine. I don't remember what the medicine was, but in tiny little print, it said, do not eat grapefruit. Something about that was, and somewhere somebody finally went, hey, Marilyn, you probably shouldn't be having that grapefruit every morning. And I talked to, like my kidney doctor, because I have, my kidneys are very cranky with me. And there's a lot of things that can actually make things worse, that for anybody else would be good. So to me, it's all about having that communication with whoever your medical care provider is. I mean, and you should also be telling, say, your massage therapist, when I tell them, hey, I've had a double mastectomy, can you deal with that? first of all, if they don't know what I'm talking about, no, they're not touching me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but all of those various things. And so you need to be open and honest. But again, it comes back to what is your messaging?
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And that's exactly it. And it really is making sure you know who your audience is, and then not putting all of your eggs into one basket. Like we said, social media is fantastic.
Right.
If you're just posting on social and you're a brand new business, that's a huge hill to climb.
Right. Yeah.
And same goes for SEO. If I need to start growing within months. SEO is just slow. So you need to really know, how can I work to get all of these things connected, even if, okay, I can't hire Andrew to do everything, but yeah, I know, right? Maybe you could, we can figure it out.
Yeah. Well, for enough. Let's see. Where's my, wait, I've got my, there we go.
Exactly. And we can do everything, and we try to keep it as affordable as possible. But I understand, especially a lot of local businesses, they've kind of started a business because they're really good at the thing.
Right. Landscaping, physical therapy, whatever.
I mean, massage therapy, they're amazing. The problem is they don't know a lick about business.
Right. And so they don't want to.
Exactly. They've had so many of their friends tell them, you're the best baker of pies ever. Start your own bakery. Well, just because you bake pies doesn't mean people are going to flock to eat your pies. So you have to know that marketing hat. And so coming to the Power Hour as often as you can, right? To be educated. A little side promotion there for you.
Thank you. Yes. Checks in the mail.
Exactly. I'll take it. And a little self-promotion, finding somebody that's an expert on the things that you don't want to do. SEO, for example, ad campaigns, whatever it is. And then, okay, how can we fill in those other pieces? My budget only allows for this and this. How do I fill in those other pieces? And there's a lot of opportunities, finding some, like we talked about intern, right? Finding somebody from a local college or high school. I mean, generally they're pretty good with social media. You probably have to teach them about Facebook and Instagram because they're just on TikTok or Pinterest or wherever they're at.
They need to do a complete sentence.
Exactly. Depending on your audience.
This is true. Yeah, I mean, when I, way back when Twitter first started and I had to make my message 160 characters, you can imagine how hard that was for me.
Oh, that's painful. That's painful. Yes. Yeah. And with the introduction of ChatGPT or other AI, that can really support and speed it up. One little caveat is, don't just trust everything chat says.
Right.
Especially when it comes to writing content for SEO. It can be either not effective or detrimental. So make sure
it's a tool. It's just a tool.
It's a tool. And just like any tool, the tool is only as good as the person using it.
Right.
So we have some education actually as far as how to use the tools and some of those marketing things yourself. And then once you're sick of doing it yourself because you're baking so many pies, that's when you hire us to.
Right. So, I want to go back to, the target of functional and integrative or medical practices. So many people still think of that as woohoo, kumbaya, all of that. And it truly is very important. So how do you kind of break through that wall of getting to, say somebody in my demographic?
Sure.
Because I'm older. We're not going to say how old, but but I'm going to be more hesitant to do something like that. Now, that might not be who they want to reach, but yeah. So how do you kind of work into, hey, we're here type of messaging?
The easiest way is to go after desperation.
Okay.
So the more desperate, the more willing they are to
that pain point.
The pain point, right? So, and that's why holistic cancer is such a good thing to go for.
Right.
Practices, because it's life or death.
Right.
They feel it. If somebody has an ingrown toenail, they're less likely to spend $3,000 to just change their diet for an toenail. Right. So whatever industry you
Mhm.
are, we're talking functional and integrative medicine.
Mhm.
That's why that perimenopause, menopause
Mhm.
age women, they're a little bit older. They tend to have a little more money,
Right.
and they are so desperate because what
Mhm.
used to be easy to lose weight, to
Mhm.
feel great, is now impossible.
Mhm. Right.
And no matter what they do, it gets worse and
Mhm.
worse and worse.
Mhm.
They are at the end of their
Mhm.
rope. So picking somebody that's at the end of their
Mhm.
rope, older demographic, it's going to be struggling with certain symptoms and conditions.
Right.
And so finding those people and
Mhm.
saying, have you thought about
Mhm.
a little bit of an
Mhm.
alternative way of caring for that?
Mhm.
A lot of our clients, I mean, our clients are educated. They're not just throwing essential oils out, to
Mhm.
stop
Right.
cancer. Right? So they're educated,
Mhm.
done the research, they've
Mhm.
got the credentials,
Mhm.
and they do lab testing.
Mhm.
So, I have a client and he likes to use, don't guess, we test. We don't
Uh-huh.
guess, we
I
test.
love that. Mhm.
There's a lot of times traditional tests
Mhm.
come back normal, like your
Mhm.
thyroid comes back
Right.
normal.
Yeah.
You're totally fine. And
Mhm.
and we've got this woman that's like,
Mhm.
oh, not everything is fine.
Mhm. I know my body.
I know my body,
Mhm.
because you're absolutely right. You do.
Mhm.
And so that's a perfect place that functional integrative medicine needs to
Mhm.
step in.
Mhm.
That's how we step in and
Mhm.
say, are you desperate?
Right.
We can help. And
Mhm.
here's how we help. And we make
Mhm.
it very educated,
Mhm.
it's very learned, and we want to give lots of
Mhm.
the other great thing about functional integrative medicine is they're set up to have a lot more time with
Mhm.
the patients.
Mhm.
So
Right.
traditional
You
primary care,
might get 10 minutes if you're lucky.
if
Mhm.
you're lucky, I think statistically it's five,
Mhm.
4 with at an appointment
Mhm.
versus functional integrative medicine.
Mhm.
They're going to take an hour, hour and a
Mhm.
half to sit down and listen
Right.
to your
Mhm.
story
Mhm.
personally. And so we want to highlight that in
Mhm.
our marketing.
Mhm.
Hey, are you is your doctor maybe not listening? Like
Mhm.
it says normal, and so he
Mhm.
just said, oh, you're getting older, you
Right.
don't.
I'm fine.
No, listen, you know your body,
Mhm.
like you said,
Mhm.
looking for some other opportunities.
Mhm.
From an SEO
Mhm.
point, that's where we start getting in front of
Mhm.
where they're searching. Maybe they
Mhm.
don't know the term functional medicine, so we use terms
Mhm.
like a symptom that they're having, or
Right. Mhm.
bloating, brain fog, or
Are you tired of hot flashes?
GERD, hot flash. Are you up in the middle of the night
Mhm.
sweating, looking at this right now?
Mhm. Mhm.
Uh,
Right. Mhm.
yeah. And so SEO would go after
Mhm.
symptoms and conditions
Mhm.
and services as far
Mhm.
as keywords on the social media
Mhm.
kind of ad campaign side.
Mhm.
We see that more as an education
Mhm.
piece to
Mhm.
say, hey, is this what you're experiencing?
Right.
There's something called functional
Mhm.
medicine that might
Mhm.
be able to help you.
Mhm.
And
Right.
then again, we always want to show that it's not woo woo. Uh,
Mhm.
there are definitely woo woos out there.
Mhm.
Uh, and
And for some people, that's absolutely wonderful.
Absolutely. And
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I love anything and everything weird. I try it all,
Mhm.
like biohack it. Like I am
Mhm.
all in on
Mhm.
personally for
Mhm.
functional body. And so which also helps as we
Mhm.
communicate to,
Right.
I
You
know
know
what
some of those words.
I'm
Mhm.
that person. And that's my
Mhm.
story as well. My
Mhm.
own was, we had all the same symptoms. My wife and
Mhm.
I struggling, gaining weight. All of
Mhm.
a sudden, I got allergies and never had
Mhm.
allergies. I had asthma as a kid. My asthma got really bad. And so enter a
Mhm.
functional medicine
Mhm.
practitioner completely turned that
Mhm.
around.
Right.
Uh, and so we're like, you know what? This is amazing.
Yeah.
There are so many people that
Mhm.
would benefit from
Mhm.
this, but I'm not a doctor. I
Mhm.
can't do that, but
Mhm.
I know marketing. And
Mhm.
so we can create a whole protocol
Mhm.
for functional,
Mhm.
integrative, even direct primary care, med
Mhm.
spas, chiropractors, all of
Mhm.
those, to really be able
Mhm.
to help the health of our
Mhm.
community.
Right.
That's
Right.
so even if, and this is a little call to action here as we're getting toward the end, what I offer is a free website SEO
Oh,
evaluation.
cool. Mhm.
I make a video,
Mhm.
so anybody can give me their name,
Mhm.
email, website, and I'll make it. It's about a 10-minute video. I make it
So
personally,
it's very in depth.
very in depth,
Mhm.
looking at technical content and
Mhm.
local. And I have fulfilled my mission, even if they don't hire us,
Mhm.
because my mission is to help you help
Mhm.
more people.
Mhm.
And so I can do that just by making videos. And
Mhm.
as you can tell, I'm pretty narcissistic. I like to see myself on video. Uh,
Hey.
yeah. So it works out.
Mhm.
But I'd love to help and assist. So you can go to our website, functionalmedmarketing.com.
Mhm.
Under resources, we've got different things. You can get our price list for free. We get very open, and we love helping in this industry. And really, if somebody's out there and go, well, that all sounds great, but I do own an auto repair shop. We can absolutely help you with that as well.
Right. Yeah, because you have your other marketing firm.
Exactly. Yeah,
Right.
actually, if they're watching the video, I've got different signs that I can hang behind me.
There we are, 6IT.
Yeah. So depending on who I'm talking to, I just swap my sign.
Right. And the one thing that we didn't talk about, so we have to have you on again, and especially with this topic, is okay. So say you're dealing with perimenopausal, menopausal women.
Sure.
They talk to each other.
Yes.
So there's that tiny little thing that might be the most important of all, called word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
And especially women, right? Guys might not be saying, hey, I got this itch. But a woman is going to say, I'm so tired of having to change my sheets.
Yeah. And there's so many opportunities as far as facilitating and automating that word of mouth. One note I would say, as far as Google reviews. So there was an influx of review generating platforms.
Yes.
It was it wasn't totally working real great. And so Google freaked out. So Google started pulling down reviews.
Right.
Like crazy. It freaked out my clients like crazy. What am I?
But they were real people. What the heck?
They were real people. I know that, it's little old Mrs. Smith down the street. A lot of them came back. Actually, Google came up with this way that you could report. In the end, the best way to do word of mouth and to get reviews is to ask.
Yes. Please tell your friends.
Ask them, your office staff, anybody that has any kind of contact. If Mrs. Smith goes, man, I feel so great. That's when whomever,
Right.
whatever.
I think it's whom.
Sure, needs to say, Mrs. Smith, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Mind leaving us a Google review so that we can help more.
Right. And then if somebody tells us that they came in because of you, we'll send you a $10 Amazon gift card.
Exactly. Just don't tell Google, because Google will freak out.
Yeah, Google hates that because you're buying, and I get that. But yeah, I mean, it's all about, again, who is your audience?
Yes.
If they are people who are going to talk to the person behind them in line and say, I had this back pain and now it's gone.
It's gone. Yes.
Yeah. And so, but yeah. Well, oh my gosh, we really are almost out of time. And we've just scratched the surface. And so we will have you on again.
We'd love
to. If people are saying, okay, I'm ready. I am ready, Andrew. Help us. Please help us. Where do they find you?
All right. Our website is functionalmedmarketing.com.
And we'll have a link in the notes.
Yes. Not functionalmedicinemarketing.com.
Bad.
You're good. It's common. And there's different ways to contact us. If anybody signs up for, to get the price list, I make everybody a personal video. Again, I love making videos. So I make everybody a kind of a personal intro video, ask a couple questions. I have another video where I go over all of our prices and our services. There's no hidden fees. We don't do contracts. If they hear this soon enough, we're actually offering 50% off their first month at any level.
Ooh.
Any service, any level. And we'll try to keep that as
limited availability. So ask, just ask when you contact.
Yes, make sure to bring it up. My cell number is actually on our website as well. You can text me anytime. If you have a question, email, text, resources. We've got I've made a lot of videos, a lot of education. You can get a copy of our book for free, which is actually my wife and I wrote, like you talked about, digital marketing and SEO for functional medicine practices. I'll be downloading it. Yes, and you're going to love it. This is a great way to get a grasp on, we talked about the marketing puzzle. All of those pieces fit together. This would be perfect for, that little office manager that you threw all of your marketing onto.
Right. Who's going, but I still have to answer the phone.
I don't know marketing. This is a perfect resource for them or for you as the business owner. It's even if you're not in functional medicine, there's excellent just basic
SEO is SEO. Marketing is marketing.
Yes, exactly. So go to our website, functionalmedmarketing.com. You can email, you can get our price list. I'll make you a video. And don't forget, I can do a little longer video going through your website, doing an SEO evaluation video. And I'm going to just chock full of helpful hints that you can take from that, whether you hire us or not.
Perfect. I love it. I love it. Well, Andrew, this really has been so much fun, and I can't wait until we chat again. But until then, do you have any final thoughts that you want to leave everyone with?
You know, I'm gonna leave you one with one that's a little bit counterproductive for me. I'm in digital marketing, but I will tell you this, as a business owner, don't put all of your eggs into the digital marketing basket. You need to be in the community. You need to be out there. You need to have conversations. Even if you've had a business or a practice for 20 years, getting back to connecting with people, it's the best way. I talk to people every day, and they act like I'm going to be surprised that they grew their business without marketing. They did it all with word of mouth. And I will tell you, 99% of people that start a business start and grow with word of mouth. And I would say, don't get away from that. So don't put all your eggs in the digital marketing basket. You're a person, connect with people. You might need to do that digitally. You might need to have those conversations. If you've got a big, broad reach, get into those Facebook groups, get into, respond to comments. You're a person. You're going to build the most trust by having those conversations.
Oh my gosh, such wisdom, such wisdom. Well, I'm Deb Creer. I've been having so much fun talking with Andrew Newland of Functional Medicine Marketing. And until next time, everyone have a great day.
Bye, everybody.
Tune in for our next program for even more trends, best practices, and techniques for how to make your business a success. The Business Power Hour, hosted by Deb Creer, is proud to be part of the C-Suite Network.